The Astros season might be over, but we're not done discussing baseball with our favorite analyst, Richard Oliver, just yet.
Sigh, heavy sigh.
Heavy sigh, because this time last year, the Astros were getting ready to face the Dodgers in the World Series.
Right.
Now the Dodgers are back again, but this time it's the Astros that are watching at home. Houston fell to the Boston Red Sox in 5 games of the ALCS. Why did Houston struggle so much in those last 4 games?
Well, I think the biggest thing that happened to the Astros down the stretch, we kind of talked about it last week, the idea that sometimes you get chinks in your armor and they become fractures when you're playing a really great team like the Red Sox that'll take advantage of everything that you've got going wrong. And we found out Altuve had surgery after the season was over right away. Correa was hurt, all the different things. The Astros weren't hitting for power. They hit about 50 points below what they hit in the playoffs last year as far as batting average. So all of those things really kind of built up. And the pitching, of course, against that Red Sox lineup that hit about 285 during the playoffs, or has hit 285 so far. You add all that up, and it was just a disaster for the Astros.
Coming off of their World Series championship season last year, tons of expectations on the Astros heading into this 2018 season. And then when the team put together 103 wins, a franchise record, there were even more expectations for that repeat bid. In your opinion, did the Astros 2018 season disappoint, or was it still a big accomplishment?
I really think it disappointed in that the Astros really felt they had the makings of a dynasty. And they may still. I mean, they've still got that core that comes back. I mean, they're going to be aiming for the World Series again next year. But I tell you, Jill, you know, when you look at what the Astros had coming into the season, I think the only thing different this year, heading down the stretch, was the Red Sox have what the Astros had last year. They're healthy, they're hitting well, their pitching is peaking at the right time. The Astros kind of went the other direction. And, you know, they got hit with all the injuries and all the bad luck and all the calls that went against them that last year didn't happen. And I don't know if it's just kismet or karma or balance or the universe or any of those things. But I think, yes, to answer your question, I think it's a disappointment because everybody in that locker room, as we saw in spring training when we were there, they were thinking World Championship or bust. And so, of course, it's a bust in that sense.
I couldn't agree with you more. I'd have to agree. A little bit of a disappointing ending just because we were hoping so much for that repeat bid. You mentioned next season. Looking ahead, a lot of changes coming up because the Astros have 7 players that will be up for free agency this offseason. I want you to take a look at this long list. Who to you jumps out right away?
Well, of course, they're going to lose Dallas Keuchel. I'm almost positive he's going to be above their price range. Marwin Gonzalez, they've got to re-sign him. You know, you have their infield and outfield. He could probably pitch and play catcher if he needed to. That's what makes him so valuable. Of this list, looking at it, Marwin Gonzalez, I know they're going to prioritize getting him back. Charlie Morton has been such a vital part of that franchise. I think they'll try to get him back. I think they'll make a faint run at Dallas Keuchel. I think they'll probably let the catchers go. Lots of change. You know, I think I saw one statistic that 28% of the Astros roster may be different next year. But look for Marwin Gonzalez to resign.
With change being in the future for this team, what area do the Astros need to improve on the most heading into the 2019 season?
I don't think there's any doubt. Of course, they're going to have to shore up their pitching staff because they're going to lose maybe 3 starters if McCullers does go under the knife, which it looks like that may be the case. Catching, Jill, I tell you what, they've got to get catchers. I mean, Martin Maldonado was a great pickup. Defensively, such a great guy behind the plate, but he just couldn't hit a lick, you know, when they needed him to do something. And then Brian McCann can hit, but he was kind of dinged up all year. He's 14, 15-year player. He's not going to play probably much longer. So that's where they're going to be stuck. And I think free agency is going to solve that.
Lots of changes coming up for the Houston Astros. Richard, thank you so much. Always a pleasure.
My pleasure all year.